Welcome, you have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Power, Book 2, Ghosts, Season 3, Episode 6. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So this episode has some things and twists and turns going on. So, of course, at the end of last episode, we got to see Lauren, Tariq got to find out Lauren is still alive. So in this episode, he's on a rampage and disappointed in Effie and Braydon. So he starts out right out the gate, and like the trailer you seen, he sees Braydon and fights Braydon and punches on him, pretty much telling him he knew. And of course, Braydon admitted to it and said Effie was behind it as well, along with Kane. And so Tariq seen Effie, and then that's when they all found out that Lorenzo was killed. So when we found out Lorenzo was killed, Tariq pretty much was thrown off, but you could tell he was off. So in this episode, it shows him go and take Effie for a ride. He rented a Tesla, and he began to tell her the story about Raina, what happened with Raina. She killed Raina's killer, and basically say how he pretty much killing became easy to him after that. And he told her he killed his dad, and she pretty much said, well, you had to do it. And so from there, he asked her, is it something that you want to tell me? So you thinking she gonna tell him about Lauren, but she didn't. So she told him about when she was younger, she was molested by her mother's boyfriend, and then she ended up marrying him after she told her mother. So you got more of Effie's backstory. But when Effie started to look around, she started to see this is where she took Lauren. So Tariq pulled in where the ramp that we seen, that the car that Effie pushed in for Lauren, and Tariq told her to get out the car and pretty much asked her, like, stop lying to me, tell me what you did. So pretty much Effie explained to Tariq that I did what you had to do, and I did it to protect you. So basically she broke in tears crying, saying that I was wrong, but I had to do it to protect you, and that she had to go or whatever. So Effie was going to pull out a gun on him because she keep a little pistol on her, and he said even if I wanted to do something, I couldn't, because it's a big investigation going on that he's involved in. They think he the one that did it, and she was like, no, it wasn't supposed to happen like that or whatever. Well, and of course he didn't tell her or Braydon that Lauren's still alive. So he told Effie pretty much she out the game, and he told Braydon he's pretty much out the game. So he told Effie she need to find her way back. Now she called Braydon. Braydon picked her up, and they tried to get into the warehouse to get product. They couldn't get inside. So it shows all of the kids, of Lorenzo's kids and Monet's kids. They all doing their thing when they all get the phone call or text. The phone call that Lorenzo's passed. And so Diana at the time was getting her cheeks clapped by the TA. And we all still look at him as he's part of an investigation, undercover cop. He's the obvious. So you had that going on, and all of them meeting back, upset that their dad passed. So there's a moment when Reek got to get product. So he goes to the warehouse, and Kane is there, and then Kane is pretty much like, where are the rest of the crew? Now he see that Tariq by himself, so he said, you must have found out about your other the other broad or whatever. And so Kane was pretty much like, well, I hope you want to get back at me because it wouldn't, to make my day. See, that's the part I don't like. They make Kane too tough compared to Tariq, where Tariq is a stone cold killer, and they make Tariq more um, like docile to Kane. And so now somebody say, well, Tariq always knows he can always outthink Kane, and so he'd make Kane get caught up in something because he outthinking. So what you see Kane doing, you see Kane's starting to play everybody against each other. So after that moment, and Tariq want to cut everybody off, Kane links up with Braydon, tells Braydon pretty much he has the life insurance from his dad's funeral, and he wanted to put it in Braydon's Western Holding. And so pretty much he said he'd do that for Braydon, and they want Braydon to bring him money and stuff, but he tells Braydon Tariq just can't X you out the game. He needs you like you need him. So, step up and be a man, get some balls. And he said, did you see Tariq come at me? And he said no, because he know Tariq Tariq know that you'll come at him and try to kill him. He said, right, so then you got to show where you stand at too. So he putting that play in. So that's his first move. And now his second move is to go after Effie, because he been trying to get at Effie. So from there you had the scene that everybody see with Tariq and his grandmom at the funeral. I mean, not at the gravesite for Raina and his dad. And she tells Tariq pretty much, you're going to end up right next to your dad if you don't change your ways. And she said, you need to get out the game. He said, I am. So it's a moment where you also seen where Tariq was surrounding the subway. So he told his grandmom, we're going to meet up. And it shows Tariq with a bag. And Obi and his crew snatched Tariq off the subway. And they don't know. They think he's trying to skip town. So they watching him. So they see by them coming to Tariq, they not paying attention to Grandma Estelle. So after Tariq gets to tell Obi, like, I'm making a drop by myself for y'all product. Now I'll be sure to tell Noma that you was the reason that I came up short. And so he said, you ain't gonna tell her nothing, and pretty much you gonna come up with the product. He said, well, let me go and make the drop. So he calls Grandma Estelle, and she like, Tariq, you was been supposed to be here. And he pretty much told her, I'm not coming, and you need to go in there and talk to Miss Washington. That way you won't be by yourself, and you'll be with Yasmin and your daughter, Tasha. And so if this will make Tariq stronger, because now that he know that his grandmom is safe, they can't use his grandmom as a weakness against him. So we're gonna see how that plays out. So now they had the repass, and of course Drew wants to get back, and so he's wants to get back. He thinks it's the Russians, so he reaches out. He has the conversation with his mom first, and she pretty much told him that Kane thinks he's taking the spot, but I'm running things now, and you're gonna be the lead. And so they look at Kane. You see Monet tell Kane he ain't that smart, and he the type of person say 2 + 2 = 5, and that's not his strong suit. So she playing Kane again, and he's taking it right now, but he gonna do something to go against her, and she pretty much tell him don't think too hard. And so while she's telling him that, she's telling Drew, you gonna be the one to step up in a place. So Drew goes and gets Gordo. We all know Gordo is the one who killed his dad, but he goes and kills the Russians. So that's gonna be the retaliation that we see at the funeral. But nevertheless, after he does that and initiates the war, Diana is in the room. So now that uh, Tariq cut off Effie and he's single, he goes by Diana's dorm room pretty much just to go and make sure she good. So he's talking to her and everything like that, and telling her, but she's talking to him about the eulogy. So in the process, when he got there, of course, you got Braydon's sister, you got what's her name, Kushanda, and you got P Diddy's son Justin, who's in the 50 be letting hooking Diddy kids with roles. So Justin was playing as one of the college students on there. They left the room. So of course there's a back and forth between Diana and Tariq. And so Tariq pretty much said he wanted to help her and give her the codes to the locker on the roof. Now we already know Jenny and them already know about the lockers on the roof, and they installed cameras up there so they could catch whoever's coming up there. So Diana still feeling Tariq. So she looking at him. She was drinking a little bit, and she pushed up on Tariq, started kissing him, and she stopped for a moment and said, "What about Effie?" He's like, "I don't mess with her no more," of course. So he slapped. A few moments later, Effie comes to the door, pretty much like, "Yo, I know you the one, you moving product on the campus, and you can't be moving product on campus unless you do business with us. We gotta do business together, or whatever." And so Effie was pretty much Diana. You could tell she was like just putting her clothes on, and she was like, you just can't tell Tariq." And so Diana been waiting to get back at Effie or whatever after she told her don't mess with Tariq. And she pushed the door open, and Tariq was sitting there putting his shirt on like, "What's up, Effie?" So Effie's sitting there like, "F y'all." So that's gonna be the fireworks right there. Funeral comes, Russians show up. It's a war, shooting at the funeral, and the scene you see with Kane putting on his dad's chain after the funeral shootout. And so Kane was like, "We shouldn't make that move," but Drew, being impulsive, so he made the move. But Kane was actually right on saying they shouldn't have made that move. So Monet stepped in and said basically Drew had the plan, and he had the best plan and went with it. And then Drew smiled in Kane's face like, "Ah." So Kane just walked off. So now he feeling like, okay, my family, even though his dad told him put family first, but my family is Xing me out, not listening. So it shows Kane rolling up on campus, and he going to Effie dorm. And so Effie was pretty much blowing him off like, "What you want? I'm not for your stuff." And so he like pretty much, he already know everything now. So he's going to feed off the energy, pretty much telling Effie, you did right. You didn't do wrong. And he basically Tariq dumb for acting the way he's acting towards you. So Kane told Effie, since she held it down with with Lauren and everything like that, he gonna give her product and not tell nobody, and so she could still make her money and do her thing. Effie was in the process getting ready to destroy Tariq and Braydon's app for the coffee business they got, and Kane stopped her and pretty much like, "Nah, you can't do that. You just working off emotion right now, because if you stop that hurts all of us." So he really being a friend to her that she need at this moment, and she's vulnerable. So we already know was hoping that they didn't write this in, because this is just make it whack. But they're gonna write it in so that Kane been pressing her, and then she gonna start messing with Kane or whatever. So with Kane and Effie messing, one of them gonna die. Like, I know one of them gonna die. Between Kane and Effie, one of them gotta go. And so we're gonna see how that pan out. There's no way I could see it's gonna be a world where Kane and Effie, Kane and Effie is just together, and Tariq is whatever. So you have what else took place? Oh, you had Lauren. So Lauren wants to meet with Saxe. She went back home and waiting for her parents, but her parents was at home because they had to get moved to witness sect. And Jenny showed up. You find out Jenny's been dirty. So you already see the play that's happened with Jenny. Jenny case is gonna be doomed like Saxe cases used to be doomed, because she doing foul, dirty stuff, and she building her case all wrong. So Jenny's gonna lose. You see that coming. Too many holes in her play. So you see her meeting up with Saxe, and Saxe is pretty much telling her, "You didn't have to lie to me," and you building this case on Tariq, and he didn't even do nothing. He's innocent. Now he might be guilty of other things, but he's not guilty of this. And so she pretty much told Saxe, "I need you to tell Lauren everything." So he went and told Lauren pretty much everything Tariq was involved in. He's never been proven guilty on none of it, but just telling her everything so that she knows. And you know, when she finally talked to Tariq, he gonna deny it. So it was, we always way back. You always, if you've been watching my videos, recapping these episodes, it was always put out there that Tariq got 3 women in his life. And I always heard that it's supposed to be a 4th, and we just ain't seen it yet. But nevertheless, you got 1 that's supposed to be for him. 1 that's a friend, 1 that's totally not for him, and 1 that's perfect. So it's shaping up. I used to say in my videos that Effie was the one that was for him, or perfect for him rather. So I guess Effie was always there to show that she was totally wrong, because she snaked them in when they was been choked. The 1 that's just a friend, it's between, I always said Diana was gonna be just a friend, and then you got 1 that was just right, and then it might be Diana. So right now you don't really know, but I don't see how a world where Lauren can live. So I don't, but then that looks whack. They just could have killed Lauren's character off, but they did all that to bring her back, and only to have Tariq kill her. That's, but then in the world of power, they say you're not a true killer until you kill somebody you love. Well, he killed his dad, so that remains to be seen how that plays out. So you had that going on, and then it shows Monet, Sean, it shows Blanca and Jenny getting the pictures from the camera where it shows Diana was putting drugs in the camera. So, she's going to be linked in there now. They didn't have nothing on Diana before, now they do. So she's part of the case, the RICO. And then shows Monet showing back up to the house, and she see the ghost of Lorenzo pretty much telling her, hey, once the kids find out that they're going to find out that you had something to do with this, they'll never trust you again. And she blinked again and phased out, and seen it was just a chair. So pretty much that was the episode. A lot of twists and turns, but it moved the season forward. The trailer for next week shows that the DEA is hot onto Monet, and she's gonna get locked up. So now she's gonna be face to go on trial and everything like that. But we'll see. Now that Tariq's grandma Estelle is not in harm's way, he could be stronger because he won't have no weakness where people can get him. So we'll see if they make him a stronger character, because you know he in a mission to prove that he's smarter than his dad and his smarts or whatever. So we're gonna see how that play out. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.